Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Premier Sim Gaming League's YouTube channel. It's the turn of the PS4 F8 League to take centre stage here for round number 6 of season 28 at the Circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. My name is Jake. I'm delighted to be back after a couple of weeks' absence, and I'm happy to say I'm joined by Bryn, who has done a great job filling in as league commentator in my absence. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, mate? It's great to have you back. It's nice having the main man back, so I can take a step back in a way.
Yeah, it's how I often feel when Felix is there to do F3.
You can take that step back and be like, oh.
It's great to be back. I've obviously missed a couple of races, been keeping an eye on how things have gone, results-wise and whatnot. I suppose one thing I want to ask you off the bat, really, is in the last few weeks, which drivers have caught your eye and impressed you?
So, I'm definitely go for the likes of El Falco, who is not here tonight. No, he's not here tonight. He's been an outstanding driver, and I've noticed that, well, New Zealand Cam, he may be good at doing one lap, but he doesn't know how to piece together, well, 36, is it, round 10? It was, yeah. Getting a puncture on the mediums, having a bit of a Lightning McQueen moment, and also not being able to get the pace back.
No, and that's it. Like you can be very quick over 1-2 laps of time trial, but it's all about doing it in a race. That's what matters. And to be fair, I can see you about Falker. He took the win at Spa, got some decent points in Zandvoort, and he's put himself right into championship contention. It's still Super Guy and L with an 8-point lead, but looking at the last 2 races, he's not been as strong as what he was.
He certainly hasn't, and I think because most of the drivers are getting more and more broken into the season, and also they get to the point where they're going to hit their peak. I think Super Guy actually peaked quite early on, where some drivers have still got a little bit more to come out of them.
No, definitely, and he's got his 2 wins to his name, but he'll need a good result today just to try and get that momentum going again, because a couple of, I wouldn't say bad results, but not the results he would have come to expect, and he doesn't want to carry on that trend for too much longer. It's still very, very close looking at the championship. So you've got those 2 sort of running away at the front a bit, but you've got Ryan, TB Sen, and quite a few others sort of very close together. The midfield pack of the championship is very close indeed, and it's kind of what I thought coming into this season. There's a lot of drivers who are very, very close together, and I would almost argue a lot of drivers that, you know, do struggle a little bit for consistency sometimes.
Certainly, like say, that's just bringing it straight back to Cam, and I'd even say in some cases Matt, because though he is good, he hasn't got very good consistency. He can go he's usually in the race, good lap, bad lap, good lap, bad lap. He can't maintain it. And that's the same with New Zealand Cam. He can do the early part of the race, yeah, fine, no worries, but as soon as he gets to the point of where the tyres are slightly dying off and he needs to pit in, Cam's just nowhere. He's got no pace at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, I mean, I've often been labelled quite a commentator's curse, as I've gone on board with 3 goals for his lap and he's already invalidated, so I'm going to switch away to Brandon. But yeah, I've always been labelled a commentator's curse, and going back to Matt's, I've looked at it, and in the 3 races I was there, he collected 1 point. In the 2 races I've missed, he's collected 10. So, you know, he might be one person who's not so happy to hear my voice again.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I actually never thought about that. I never brought it up with him, but you watch this race, he'll end up finishing 17th to DNF, but who knows? He might win. Well, actually, I doubt that, but you never know what could happen at this point.
I say anything could happen in racing, and it usually does. With another driver who I'm just looking at as well, who actually won in Zandvoort last time out, is Ecos Herald, and looking at him, when he's actually finished a race, he's only actually finished 2 races this season, but when he has, he's got a 4th and a 1st to his name. So again, if he can hook it up more consistently over the second half of the season, he's another driver that could find himself maybe with a long shot of a title.
I can agree with that fact, and I will say that Herald is very good in some certain wet conditions.
You'll have to hope the weather changes quite dramatically from qualifying, looking at it.
Yeah, it's very bright skied and Surely.
Now, I was about to say, I was interested to look at Konski here. Apologies if I've not said that right. This is literally the first time I've actually seen this guy race, because obviously he replaced Alex a couple of races ago, and I haven't actually seen him race thus far, so I'm interested to see how he gets on today. But he already had quite a oversteery moment on his first hot lap, so I'm going to see. I think, though, he's the furthest one into a lap at the moment that isn't invalidated, so I'm going to stay on board of him. And obviously, you know Matt's quite well, and how do you think, how is he coping with his change of teammate mid-season?
I certainly think it's quite hard for him, in the sense of he's going to have to adjust having a different teammate, and I know that I don't think he actually communicates with Konski like he used to with Alex and me. Like, I think that's one key factor that he's going to struggle with, is not knowing what his teammate's doing. And I know I find it hard when I've got a teammate that I can't physically communicate with, because you never know when each other are going to appear.
No, and I think it does definitely help having some form of communication with your teammate, just for a lot of things during the race. Even just that little bit of motivation sometimes when things aren't going the way you would hope, because sometimes you just need that extra voice just to try and motivate you when things perhaps don't go the way you expect. Konski's gone into 6th. He's the 6th of 6 drivers to do laps so far. I'm now on board with TV Sen, who is currently 4th in the championship, and I have to say, without doing anything too outstanding this season, has just been steadily chipping away, getting consistent results. Of course, as I say, that invalidates his lap, because that's just what I do, but nevertheless, he's been having really consistent results here, and that might be all it takes to win this championship in the end.
Yeah, I can agree. Literally, consistency is all you need, and that progression. And also, we need to sort you out. Commentators curse. You're taking it to a next level, mate.
I have a skill which could not be matched. Who should I curse next? Is almost my thinking at this point.
Super Guy now, maybe? I'm joking. No, don't you dare think.
Well, I mean, he's on a lap, so I'm going to go on board with him. I mean, he's on medium tyre, so I don't think this is going to be the quickest lap he'll do this session anyway. But it'll be interesting to see what sort of lap time he does on the medium tyres, because estimated they're around a second a lap slower than the softs. So if he can get into the mid-28s, which he has done, I wouldn't say that's a bad lap on mediums.
Certainly it's not. I'm just going to look through the people that are on a lap right now. Do not go on board with Pinson. He's on a lap.
I mean, I have to for the sake of a broadcast, but yeah, I'm just looking. So obviously Pinson's been here for quite a few races. How's his results stacking up? Ooh. I mean, he got a 2nd place in the season opener, but since then it's not really gone his way. So he was hoping he can try and recover some of it today, and looking at it, his results just seem to have got worse and worse. He wasn't actually here last week. But nevertheless, you can just see his results spiralling, and that is definitely something that's easy to do, and it's much harder to get out of that routine, because I think once you start getting a couple of bad results, it's almost human nature to start being a little bit negative coming into the next race.
Yeah, is Pinston, is it only me, or is he really, really lagging?
Yeah, I've got a lot of lag on his end as well, so yeah, it's not just you, don't worry. I'm guessing. I mean, let's see what lap time he does in the lagging AlphaTauri. Is it particularly quick? It goes up to 5th. Not bad. I think he'll be open for a bit more time than that.
Go on lap with Mats. Go on board with Mats.
Okay, I mean, this is on. He knows that I've said do this, but I mean, he's through the middle sector now, through turns 8 and 9 at the chicane. Probably I would say one of the best overtaking spots on this track. There is actually quite a few overtaking spots around this track, to be fair. I think there's more on the game than what there is in real life, that's for sure, around here.
In real life, it's just DRS train, and in the game, it's DRS train.
You're definitely not short of runoff area here, that's for sure. Timat's in the final sector now. Missed the apex a little bit there, but not too shabby. Going now to the penultimate turn, of course. The pit entry there, as always. As always at PSGL, the pit entry and exit's always a big key talking point. I'm sure we'll get onto that as the race develops. But for Max's first lap, he does a 1:28.3, which is good enough to pop him up to 7th. While that was happening, Harold moves up to 4th. And I'm now going to see Julian on his lap, who I've been reliably informed by Bryn here that this is Noim Racing's new PSN.
Oh, cheers! You're just gonna say something like, oh, you know, some people, you just can't get some good people in this world. I'm joking.
He's got 9th for his first lap anyway. What's Free Gloves up to? This is looking like a good lap, and it is. It's up to P2 for Free Gloves. I've got to be honest, qualifying pace is not something I usually associate with Free Gloves. It's his race pace that I often find impresses me. He's very much like a Fernando Alonso type driver in that aspect, as Ryan extends his margin at the top.
Certainly. He's a Fernando Alonso without the Fernando Alonso, if you get where I'm coming from.
The angry radio messages?
Maybe, but another thing, but I mean, like, some people hate my driving style. It's very Fernando Alonso-esque, but apparently from one of my mates I got told he hates me because of it.
I mean, that's a bit extreme.
I disgust him.
Well then.
Uki Azim is coming down the main straight to 328. That's not the quickest down the straight, to say the least. I mean, down there, I'm not going to reveal anything, but I've been hitting 335, so that's not the quickest.
No, definitely not. You have to be careful of that. The last thing you want to be is a sitting duck down the straight, especially around here where DRS trains are so common. And just to add insult to injury for Ugrizim, he just got pipped to 4th place by Jonas, who went 1,000th of a second quicker.
Yeah, he's also on another lap. Oh no, it's not another lap. Oh my... Why? Oh, it's going on the game. It says he's got an unused set of softs on, which he does. But when you finish a lap, it should say 1 lap. Yes, it doesn't. And, hold on 1 second.
On Konski round the final corner to 15, and he tried his best to keep hold of that Red Bull and keep it pointing in the right direction, but it was always a battle he was going to lose, unfortunately.
Yes, and also I'm just going to move on to another thing. The Khan Bros, very much this season, has proven to be good at 1 lap, but cannot deal under pressure. Tends to make mistakes.
In a way, that's not overly surprising when I think about it, because one thing I suppose to note about the Khan Bros is, I believe coming into this was their first sort of experience of league racing, and that's the one thing. Like, you can be as quick as you want, but I think you need the experience of league racing, I think, to be able to cope with the situations of pressure, and that's just something he should hopefully pick up over time. But I mean, despite that, I mean, looking at his results, he's picked up a few points finishes. He's scored in 4 out of 5 races, which isn't too bad. But you could argue his pace probably should have expected more from him. But I don't know. I think over the course of going into the next game, if he sticks around, that experience this season will really help him out next season. And you can see his pace there that you just mentioned, because he's gone 3rd quickest.
Certainly, Super Dino is on an invalidation. Konski is coming into the pit lane. Pinston's on an outlap. We're just trying to see people right now. I mean, you know, I was thinking about the Khan Bros, about race pace and quality pace, and then it just reminded me of something that came up earlier when I was talking to a certain somebody. And their new nickname, if you want to call them in stream, is Alexander Albon, and I'll let you guess who that is.
I think I know. I think I know. Sorry, Matt.
They don't like it, but it's the truth. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, on the positive side for Matt, unlike Albon, he is still currently in a Red Bull, so that is one positive for him. Cam is finally on soft tyres, and he goes into the pits. That was right, Cam. You caused that commentary curse this time. I'm having that one on you. Literally, I was building up thinking he could do a really good lap here, and see what he can do on the soft tyres, and he comes straight in the pits.
Yep, in that Scuderia mission win now, Ferrari.
I've got to be honest, we're hitting a bit of a sort of quiet moment in qualifying, because there's only 1 driver on track, and he's just completed, well, you've just invalidated his lap. So,
yeah, I mean, I was going to say, at the moment, if Cam stays where he is, same with Super Guy now, I know that one's not set a time and one has, on the medium tyres. Have we got a bit of a Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc moment going on right now?
Could very well be. I think I missed as well, Brandon moved up to second a few minutes ago.
He did.
And so, good lap from him. I'm just wondering, I think Pinson's going to go for another hot lap here, so at least there's something to watch.
Yeah, I've just got to quickly comment on something. Brandon, a 127.669.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah,
that sounds so wrong out of context. The fact of, if somebody was to make a PSGL funny, commentary funny moments dash out of context,
you're in trouble.
yeah, I'm going to be in huge trouble, and Connor would just be like. But I love being the hilarious comms. I like adding fun to the comms.
That's what it's
unless
all
it's
about.
a series, unless it's like PSGL F1 or like the higher tiers, I like to make those lower tiers a bit of a fun, a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think as well. I mean, I've got to be honest. I'm probably too old to say this, but. I mean, I've got to be honest, when I found out Lewis Hamilton had gone 69 points today, I double cheered. I'm not going to lie.
Pinston, you crossed the line. SpaghettiOs. I think I may have just dobbed him in.
Well, I mean, he should be alright in qualifying, just don't repeat it in the race, I think would be the way to go there. But, I mean, if he's taking that line in qualifying, hopefully it's not a line he's going to continue with. During the course of the weekend. The only drive... Okay, we've got Ryan now on a lap, and his first sectors... Yeah, that's an incredible first sector. He's already got a 10.5 margin at the front, and I have to say that right now he's looking very, very strong here, and he was on pole before his first lap. He did the first lap, then improved, so he's just finding more and more time out there, and he looks very well dialed into this Paul Ricard circuit.
Quite a bit of understeer though, I will say, on the exit there as we come to the end of sector 2. 2/10 up yet again, so that's could be a 0.3, 0.2 at most.
Yeah, this for Spa sector you can gain a little bit of time. There's obviously a lot of long sweeping corners here. The last thing he's going to want here is more oversteer. We've got Game Freaker also on a lap. I'll switch to him once Ryan has crossed the line. Hopefully he hasn't invalidated or anything like that. Coming up now to turn 14, the penultimate turn. And it's all about just getting the right line ready for the final corner. Turn 15, lean you back onto the main straight. This has been a super lap from Ryan. I think he may have gained even a bit more time in his final sector. What's he going to do across the line? It is a 127.3, so that 2 temps he found in that opening sector was all it needed to extend his margin at the front. Game Freaker was 8th. He's on a personal best lap and moves up to 2nd. Game Freaker going to the front row provisionally. But there's a lot of drivers out there who will be looking to try and take that away. Free Gloves will not be one of them. One driver I'm going to keep an eye on with you though is Jonas, because he's 2 temps up in sector 1.
But just quickly to note, Ryan with that time would be P2 in F11. New Zealand Cam.
Cam right to death for 27.1. Where did that come from?
I think we've got what's the word? A try-hard. A sweat. I know Cam is a huge sweat. I know the amount of time he spends on this game. So I wouldn't expect any less, to be honest.
It looks for all the way like Ryan was going to get pole position. Then along comes along Cam right at the end. We saw him do a good lap on mediums early on, but fair play to him. That's a great lap, but he's got to be able to convert that into the race, so she'll see if he can do that. Brandon's moved back above Game Freaker up to 4th. Calmbros now up to 3rd. Calmbros goes 4th. Super Guy and L goes onto the front row, and Joyce goes up to 4th. Some big changes right there at the end. What's Harold up to? He's coming in the pits, and I think that is everyone. And out of nowhere, really, it's a Ferrari front row lockout.
Oh my god! I've just seen Brandon's car is just crashing into a McLaren.
Oh dear.
But all I'm going to say is Yes, they may get a 1-2 lockout, but I'm going to put a huge feeling they cannot convert that in the race to a win. At least one of them's going to end up having issues.
Well, for the championship's sake, Super Guy Nell will be hoping it's not him. Of course, with his nearest rival, Foka, not here tonight, he's got an 18-point gap to the next car, which is Ryan, who obviously starts just behind him. So this is a real opportunity here for Super Guy Nell to take a firm grip of his championship.
Certainly, I mean, like, I'm not talking about Super Guy Nell and Ray, because you know who I was really aiming it at, because considering after Zandvoort, but anyway, I'll let you run through the grid.
Yeah, we got Cam on pole position then. We got Super Guy Nell second and all Ferrari front row lockout. Ryan third, Jonas up to fourth at the end. Brandon fifth, for Carnbro sixth. Game Freaker 7, Free Gloves in 8th, Oogie and TB Sen complete the top 10. Got Prenz in 11th, Harold, I think he'll be a bit disappointed, down in 12th. We've got Julian 13th, Mats in 14th, Pinson 15th, Powdy 16th, and Konski, who, I've got to be honest, every time I saw him on board, that cart's a handful. He'll start from 17th, and looking at it, the one team that will not be happy following qualifying is Red Bull.
Yeah, they being P14, we've not got a Max Verstappen in that team. We've definitely got an Alexander Albon and a 2019 Pierre Gasly in there.
I think he'll want to have some words with you when he sees this, Matt.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care, Matt. You can do what you want. You can say what you want. You can't change what's just happened.
Well, we'll see if he can try and salvage back some pride over the course of the 27 laps. But it looks a lot darker for the race, I have to say. I don't know if there's any rain forecast, but it definitely doesn't look as sunny and bright as it did in qualifying.
No.
The question is, throughout the course of this race, will the clouds be metaphorically going over some of the drivers as well?
Yeah, I mean, rain would be a huge fact. I mean, after Zandvoort getting rain towards the end, causing a few issues for a certain somebody, which I already said earlier on, Cam, getting a puncture and having to pit early, going onto the softs, which then had to pit again, didn't end up right.
No.
I've just heard something from somebody who's in a party with Matt, and he told me not to translate what he said, but I'm going to translate it.
Uh-oh. You haven't used Google Translate, aren't you?
Yeah, he told me to shut up.
Ah, okay.
I was going to say, I thought he was going to say something worse then.
I was going to say, he could have just said that in English, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, we're on the formation lap. Everyone outside the top 10, unsurprisingly, really, has opted not to start on softs. Interestingly, Powdy has gone completely different to everyone else and has opted to start on a hard tyre. Do you think that could be a viable strategy around here?
So, coming from my point of view, it could work as a good strategy, but then knowing F8, no.
Fair dues, we'll have to see how it unfolds.
There's most likely going to be an early safety car. The medium runners will be able to get onto the hard tyres, whereas Powdy... Yeah. Wait, did I just see a spot of rain?
I'm now going on...
Powdy's drifted. But I swear I just saw a spot of rain.
It's funny you mention that, because I thought I saw some spray at one point. It seems like it's threatening it.
Yeah, it really does.
It's quite an interesting one, really, but we'll obviously see what the sort of grip they've got off the line. Obviously, Ferrari, as you mentioned, 1 and 2 starting here. They are leading the constructors at the moment with a 3-point lead over Renault. But Super Guy Nell's had to do a lot of the sort of heavy lifting, if you like, in that team. This is really an opportunity for Cam to step up and sort of help his teammate out. He did get third place last time in Zandvoort, but other than that, it's been a fairly uninspiring season from his point of view.
I mean, considering he was dominating most of the race until then, yeah.
Well, he's got an opportunity here. The pace is definitely there, but he needs to hook it up throughout the entirety of the race. One lap in qualifying is not going to cut it, I'm afraid. And we've got cars all lining up on the grid now, and we shouldn't be too far away from lights out. Hopefully the lights show us going out when they actually are going out, because that glitch really annoys me. But we shall see. Right, here we go then. The lights are coming up. I don't think they're going to be underway when the lights go out. Oh, they actually are. God, one time that happens, and Cam gets away pretty well. Super Guy and Elbow is challenging him into turn 1. I'm interested to see how Ferrari's deal with the start of the race here. It looks like Cam keeps the lead into turn 1. There's a bit of side-by-side action behind between Brandon and Jonas, and Jonas looks like he's had a moment and gone off.
He's round.
Looks like there might have been contact.
Pinston has lagged out as well.
Has Jonas got damage? I want to see. I don't know. I think he just spun out, which is...
Oh, he's now got damage. He's just ran into back of Audi.
Oh no, really messy start from the champion of the Top Sunday tier last season. Doesn't look like he's going to be holding on to that title by the looks of it. Super Guy and L getting super close here to Cam. He thinks about a move into the chicane at turns 8 and 9, but thinks better of it. So Cam keeps the lead, but Ryan is lurking just behind the two Ferraris here, so they might need to watch out here, because Ryan looking quite dangerous in behind the top two. And yeah, he couldn't get much closer to the back of that Ferrari, it's fair to say.
So I think the Ferraris are struggling for straight line pace compared to Ryan, who I think is using what I would class as a setup like mine. Julian's gone up the inside of Prince. Okay, that is closed between the two. They're going side by side around turn 14.
Ryan's going for a very adventurous move, and there's Super Guy and L.
Oh.
He tried around going the inside of turn 14 and then had the outside for the final corner. Super Guy and L gave him the space, but he hasn't managed to pull it off, and that's allowed Cam to have at least a little bit of breathing space. But I've got to be honest, at the inside of turn 14 is definitely not where I would predict a move to happen.
No, it's a very odd corner to actually get a move done on, but I have seen it done in the past, so... But Cam's pulled a second to his teammate now. Ryan's still 5/10 behind Super Guy now. Got 30% more ERS. So...
Yeah, Ryan's barely eaten into his ERS at all there, so good start for him. And obviously that battling between the pair of them has allowed Cam just to pull a little bit clear of for him. Importantly for him, he's not out for second, but he'll need to be when the DRS comes into effect on the next lap. It looks like Julian's just lost out to Pinson,
who's lagging all over the place, who would personally scare me, because I mean I haven't had a laggy car since F7 in season 27, with of course Morgan won by 11 points, and that was heartbreak for me. But yeah, I've not had a laggy car like that racing against for ages. Well, it is a tough feeling. Mats and Julian are very close, and they've swapped positions now. I know them two are in a party, so I think they've been a bit kind to each other.
Well, I mean, it's funny you mention that, because Julian, I think, is going into the pits. So I wouldn't. Well, he looks like he was going into the pits, because he then dropped place to Oogie, and he's now having to try and fend off Konski. I don't know what Julian was doing there. It looked like for all the world like he was trying to get into the pits, but obviously didn't, and he's now lost a place to Konski as well. So Julian being a bit kind to everybody by the looks of it.
That's the thing in Formula 1, you cannot be soft to people, you need to be aggressive. Yeah, you don't want to make contact, but still, you gotta be aggressive. Ryan's on 100%, oh my. Now he's on 97, but still.
Yeah, I think he's quite happy where he is at the moment, you know, just settling in behind the top two. And obviously he knows that with the Ferraris the way they are now, there's going to be an issue there when it comes to the pit stops, because they can't obviously pit on the same lap, so one of them may have to sacrifice themselves slightly. You'd imagine it would be Cam, I suppose, in terms of a championship, but of course often a lot of teams work by the logic of whoever's in front gets the preference.
Certainly, I mean, wonder how long these drives will go on for, but I'll be 1 second, so...
No problem, just have a quick look further behind. Brandon's keeping close order as well in 4th, got Carmbros in 5th. Harold's made a pretty decent start on the mediums, he's up to 8th place, which is pretty solid going. He's ahead of Free Gloves, who started on the soft, so Herald, after what I would say was a disappointing qualifying outside the top 10, is making up some good ground during the race. It won't be that long, I don't imagine, before you start to see a few of the soft tyre runners in from the pit stops. The soft tyres around France don't tend to last all too long, if I'm being honest, and obviously for the top 10 they've already got a qualifying lap under their belt with them as well, so not too ideal. But at the moment anyway, at least it seems like Super Guy NL just happy to stay behind his teammate, but he's coming under threat from Ryan, who definitely is sort of tactically saving, holding on to his ERS, not using too much of it. Of course, when you're in this DRS train, you know there's not too much you can do, so as long as you're not under attack, it's probably worth just holding on to as much of that ERS as you can and try and use it later on. We've got a potential move happening further down. Just want to see if Free Gloves is going to go for a move. Of course, the two teammates here at Williams currently very much still in the constructors' battle for the title, and I don't know, Herald in front of Free Gloves, and Free Gloves looking like he wants to take that position away, but can't quite do so at this moment in time. You can see all the top 9 drivers. Free Gloves is at the back of this group of cars at the moment, it's fair to say, and there's just a 9-car DRS train for the lead of a race. I'm watching Pinson, who obviously has been lagging quite a bit, and he's right up behind Prenz now, which is a sort of the next sort of group down, if you like. Julian's lost another place to Jonas as well, so Julian just seems to be slipping down the order at his current stage of proceedings. Powdy on those hard tyres, unsurprisingly, just hanging around at the back. Those hard tyres won't be that quick at this stage, but he'll be hoping that later on in the race he can be more of a threat. Super Guy NL getting closer to the back of Cam. You wonder if he's going to try and get past, and what exactly the situation is between the pair of them, because obviously they're in different sort of positions in the championship, but they are teammates, and I'm just wondering how well are those Ferrari duo going to work together today.
That is a fair point. I mean, like I say, you were going on about the championship between Super Guy NL and Cam and everything, but I don't want to sound like that person. I know at times Cam can be quite selfish and quite... Well, I mean, every driver can. I'm saying that I know he can be just thinking about himself too much and gets hit up in the moment, and then, you know what I mean? So yeah. I don't think Cam is going to personally work with in as a sense of letting him by. I think Cam would want to be the dominant car, like, you are following me, you stay behind me.
I think the one driver I'm just looking at now, I would say is in quite a solid position, because the top 9 are obviously all in this DRS train. The one driver to keep an eye on really is Herald on those mediums. Yeah, I was about to say, he's ahead of his teammate, who I don't think he's going to challenge him all too much. And in fact, he's very close at the moment to TV Sen as well. And if he can stay with the soft tyre runners at this stage, he could very well be a threat later on.
I'm sorry. I'm a little bit confused, but we will carry on with this. Ryan's close. The gap between Ryan and Super Guy and Cam is quite equal. Apart from now, it's broken up a bit more.
Yeah, Ryan's still not really eating into his ERS at all. I think he knows in the position he's in at the moment, there's not really much he can do, and the best bet is just to stick behind. He'll know that Ferraris will have to sort of compromise each other a little bit on strategy, and that might be where he's hoping to take advantage. And to be fair, lap 6, we're probably not all too far away from the pit stop phase.
Sorry, I just saw something. But yeah, Super Guy NL is catching the back of Cam now. I think Cam's going to put in this lap. I've got a huge feeling.
Try and make sure that he protects himself against the cars behind. Yeah, I think we're going to see a few drivers maybe coming at the end of this lap, but Cam is one driver who looks like he might be struggling a touch more than some of us around him. Let's see. No, he carries on. He carries on. Is anyone going to come into the pits just yet? I thought we would have seen some pit stops at the end of lap 6, but there we go. Yeah, Free Gloves is the one who jumps the gun. He was right at the back of his train of cars, so he might be thinking a 1 lap's worth of undercut and I could gain about 3 or 4 places here. It's a nice little idea from Free Gloves. I mean, when you're at the back of this...
undercut.
Yeah, when you're at the back of a train, he had a 2.5 second gap behind him, so really it's quite a nice, it's a good gamble in that sense of things, because he's not really going to lose out, and he could gain a few positions on guys around him.
I mean, like I say, going on so hard, getting a few positions. I think, like I say, clear air. That's to be bonus for Free Gloves. And unlike real life, you don't really have to worry as much about tyre warm-up in the game, which, in my opinion, is a bit rubbish, because I want it to be realistic. I want it to be that you have to heat the tyres up yourself. I mean, this is me just being racing driver, mate. And here we go, Ryan's coming at Super Guy now, look.
There we go, so he's sensed an opportunity there. It looks like Super Guy was kind of caught up behind his teammate. And now Ryan going round the outside, and Super Guy gone off the road. And thankfully for him, there's a ton of runoff there, but he's lost a few positions. There was some contact. I think it was quite minimal, to be honest, but when you're going at 170 miles an hour, all it takes is a little bit of contact and you're struggling to keep the car under control.
So I think it looked like hardly any contact between the two drivers there. But, Cam going a bit wide into the entry there. But coming into pit lane now.
Oh no,
Super Guy now stays out.
He kind of had to, didn't he, because of his teammate pitting, so that was what I was mentioning earlier. One of them was going to have to sacrifice themselves, and obviously Super Guy losing those positions as well. It's been a difficult lap for him, and you've got all the cars in front of him choosing to pit now. What I'm interested to see is where they come out in relation to Free Gloves, who of course triggered that undercut. Will he have actually gained any positions out of that? He's just coming on to the pit straight now, as you would expect. Everyone who's pitted is going on to the hard tyres.
Oh, he's going to jump quite a few people.
He is indeed. Look at this. He's going to come out. Oh, he's going to be just in front of the Calm Bros. Net P3. The only drivers he's behind are Cam and Ryan. So that's just that one lap. That undercut has worked incredibly well for Free Gloves. And he's in a really nice position now. And yeah, I've got to say, it was only one lap, but that's all it took for Free Gloves to really make the undercut work.
Right, Game Freak, Nuki Game Freak has got a puncture.
Oh yes, he has. Game Freak, a real disaster for Alfa Romeo. Game Freak has got a puncture on his tyres. That's surprising. I know he ain't done 7 laps on them, and that's already seen those tyres puncture. So real shame for Game Freaker, and that is quite a way away from the pits. So he's going to lose out so much there. That's a real race wrecker for the Belgian driver there.
Here goes Super Guy now. Is going to flow into pit lane. Harold is going to take the lead.
Yeah, I think Harold will be very happy about that, because I think he was starting to be held up by Super Guy there. And we talked about how powerful the undercut was. Well, based on that, and Super Guy will probably fall right to the back of that train of cars behind TV Sen.
Certainly, I think that's definitely going to happen. Let's watch this now. Super Guy coming down the pit lane. There goes Julian. Here we go. There goes his teammate. There goes Ryan. There goes Free Gloves. There goes the Calm Bros. There goes Brandon. There goes TV Sen. He's dropped right back.
And that's, like, it's only probably about 2 or 3 seconds worth of time that he's lost, but being behind all these cars now, he's really got his work cut out. That's an absolute disaster, and we talked about this being a big opportunity for him to maybe stretch out his championship lead over Ryan. Well, if anything now, it's the opposite situation. It's a real chance for Ryan to peg some points back.
Yeah, Ryan is doing a lot better than what Super Guy is doing right now. I think the collision between them two earlier on was neither driver's fault. They both did reasonably well to try and save it at least. But there was hardly any contact from my point of view.
No, that's pretty much the same evaluation I got from it as well. The trouble is at such high speed, the minimal contact is that's unfortunately going to happen. I really don't think, I think it was just an unfortunate little bit of contact, sadly. But the good thing, one of the beauties of France, of course, is that you have millions of miles of runoff. So, you know, another track that could have easily ended up in the wall.
Which I personally hate. Tracks should have... I'm talking about the good old days tracks, the good old proper tracks.
We've got some Red Bulls going at it, and Konski has just taken the place from him.
There we go, Maz is coming back to it though. Alexander Albon is not happy.
Matt's
He's
going
not happy
back
the
at
PS coming at him.
Konski.
Oh, come on, side by side now, going down
This is-
turn 5. Oh, but Konski's gonna have DRS now on Mats.
Oh, Christian Horner's going to be tearing his hair out of this. This is doing neither of them any good at all. But Matt's determined, you know, to be the team leader in this instance. He's already going defensive.
Oh!
And there's contact between the pair of them. This is not good to see at all. This is talking
Matt's
like...
weaving.
Matt's weaving, loses out to Konski, but I get the feeling that battle's far from over. But, I mean, it might be a battle that's far from over, but you almost get the feeling that Red Bull's chances of points are going to be over soon with the way these two are battling. I don't think they're really thinking about the bigger picture here, but yeah,
giving me Baku 2018 vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got Cam here going down the inside of Julian, and obviously on Julian yet to stop. Julian trying to hang it around the outside. He's not going to want to give that position up, but he hasn't got a grip there. Nearly ran wide as a result, and Cam has the place. I wonder perhaps there if there was some past team orders towards Julian to get him to try and hold Cam at bay with Ryan up behind. But I've got to be honest here, Cam's really starting to stretch a lead over Ryan, who in turn is starting to come under threat from behind. Ryan doesn't look that happy on these hard tyres at the moment.
Really not. I mean, he's still got a lot of VRS. Cam sets the fastest lap on the hard tyres, but it's certainly something that's interesting to say the least. Going now with the fastest lap, got past TV Sen already. But no, going back to what I was saying earlier about tracks. Tracks they're not proper anymore. I miss the days when tracks, you were lucky if there was a curb on the exit and it wasn't straight gravel. The days where it's just grass or gravel straight at the edge of the track, no curb, that's a proper track. And they can't go over around track limits. Oh, la-di-da-di-da, track limit says. Because if you go off and lose a lot of time. It's a proper track when you have gravel. Look at this. This is a piece of rubbish, to say the least. You can't do things properly. This is not a proper track, and this is why it should be removed from any sort of race calendar. The only race that should use this is GT3.
So Bryn sending his job application to be Paul Ricard's next circuit promoter. Saying
the architect for the next Paul Ricard update. So when they update the track, I'm going to be the one designing it. Gravel here, gravel there, gravel everywhere, no curbs.
Julian's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I wonder if they tried to just wanted to get him out of the way of Ryan. I'm interested to see, hopefully when it comes up, what the gap is between. Yeah, Cam's now got a 3-second lead over Ryan. Of course, these are provisionally 1 and 2. All the other guys in front have yet to pit. We've also got Konski in the pits, which I think Matt's might be a bit happy about, because it looked like those two Red Bulls were having their own private civil war a few laps ago. So
free.
Yeah, gets them out of the way. One driver I'm going to keep an eye on though is Super Guy NL, because he obviously made his way past TB Sen, and he's now right on the back of Brandon and wanted to make up for lost time. He can see about 3 positions ahead of him is Ryan, and he'll want to try and get as close to, if not past him by the end, as possible. I've got to say though, Ryan just does not look happy on those hard tyres at all. You've got to say at this point he's holding up 3 gloves behind him, and probably a few other cars as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a train forming behind him while Cam's just getting away, like la-di-da-di-da. Literally right now, Cam's just having a casual Sunday drive. He's going through the back roads in the Peak District, or he's flying around somewhere in Spain, going through the mountains.
I mean, you talked about earlier about Cam not making the most of his opportunity last week. Well, you've got to be honest, right now, this is a race that he'll be very angry if he doesn't win.
If he doesn't win this, we have the 100% right to say on stream that Cam, you are officially a huge bottle.
I can almost go along with that. The only thing will be, that I'm interested to see, of course, is if people can get past Ryan, what kind of pace they've got. Jonas is out of the race. He's retired in the pit lane. so there won't be any safety car or anything like that, which would have maybe put a thorn into Cam's side. Herald has pitted, and I've got to be honest, that's not a bad stint at all on those medium compound tyres. He's pretty much going to join the back of this train that Ryan's creating.
Yeah, and you just sit there right now and just relax. Pren's still leading with Powdy and P2 on the hard tyre. In the Alfa Romeo Sauber, as now the flags are cleared, the Mercedes AMG Petronas.
Oh, we're going to have an attempted move here. Super Guy L is trying around the outside of Brandon. Of course, this is where it went. Yeah, he's going to then go to the inside. It went wrong for him around that corner earlier on in the race, but he's made it stick this time around. That was a beautifully sort of thought out move. I think he knew exactly what he wanted to do there from the moment he went for it. And Brandon tried, but I almost think Super Guy L knew where Brandon was going to put his car and used it to ventilate the inside for turn 11. So super move from Super Guy L there, and he's cutting his way through this DRS train, which I'm sure you know from experience, trying to overtake in a DRS train is really not easy.
Considering all the cars around you have got that advantage of less drag, yes, it's very hard, but I will say, in some cases, if he was running what I think he might be running wing-wise, probably not that hard. Julian's now retired in pits as well.
Unfortunate for Julian. Once he got that pit lane speeding penalty, it was always going to be a tough ask. Shame for Jodis as well, of course. He won the Top Sunday Tier last season, but it just hasn't had that same level of performance this time around. So, yeah, not really happened for him. And of course, you've got Game Freaker down in 15th, who I've got to say was really unlucky with that puncture, because we saw drivers stay out for the same amount of time on softs and not have those issues.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just having to do something just then. Look at I'm just trying to see, and this just went TV saying that is just Julian's car trying to park up somewhere. Super Guy and L is catching to the back of Carbros, who's on the back of the Three Gloves, who's on the back of the Ryan.
And Herald not quite catching just yet. Obviously, Herald, even though he had that stint on mediums, has had to go for obviously the hard tyres as well. Will Herald have much of an advantage being on 5-lap younger hard tyres? Will he be able to do much with that?
The end of the race, yes, but right now, no. If anything, his tyres are going to be the worst off.
Yeah,
because he needs to break them in effectively, and I found the hards aren't initially good until you get to at least 40%. But then when you get above 60%, they're a load of...
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say the whole word on stream, so I'm just going to go, they're a piece of...
Yep. Ryan, to be fair, I mean, to be honest, Cam's in a situation now where he doesn't need to push.
Here goes Super Guy now on Carbros.
Yep, Super Guy now trying to make up another position, but this... Oh, he nearly loses the back end. He's going to lose out to Brandon, actually. So, in his attempt to gain a place, he loses one. And he's got to be careful with TB said as well. He doesn't want to lose. Yeah, he's been very, very aggressive, and, you know, that has worked for him out sometimes. But the problem is when it goes wrong, when you've got so many cars around you, you're going to go from looking like you want to win a position to then suddenly losing one. So Super Guy L did a great move on Brandon, but he's now got to do it all over again.
Yeah, Zuki Azim and Mats are going for it. P12 not in a point-paying position, but still, they're fighting it out like it's the win of the race. Yuki Azim's going to get that move done, but no, Mats is going to go right around the outside. Ooh, that was sweet. That was a very Lando Norris-esque move that he did there. Going, as we saw Lando go around the outside of Ocon at turn 11 at Portimao today.
Yeah, some great racing in both races alike, it has to be said. And I was just wondering for a split second, was Free Glove starting to drop away from the back of Ryan? There's still signs of it. Here we go, Super Guy L's going for it again. This is an unusual place. Oh, and he just about makes it through. There was more contact between them. I can't help feeling you could have left him a little bit more room there. But Super Guy L desperate to get these moves done. And he makes his way back past Brandon, who is in turn now going to come under threat from TV Sen, because he didn't get a particularly great exit onto the back straight.
Brandon having more ERS is just luckily staying ahead, but the gap between Cam and Ryan right now is quite high.
Are we seeing here with Super Guy L a driver who knows how big of an opportunity this is to extend his lead in the championship, and it's almost pressurising him to overdrive a bit?
I don't think that. I'm just gonna say he's just an aggressive driver. He really is quite aggressive. He reminds me of a. I know he's the reason why I'm saying a young, because though he is still young, he has grown up quite a bit. A young Max Verstappen.
Ah, I thought that was where you were gonna go there. Yeah,
because though he has grown up, Max used to be so aggressive, like Super Guy is right now. I mean, he is from the Netherlands, so maybe he shares that trait with Max right now.
Yeah, super aggressive, and you know it can pay off at times, but you've got to. Sometimes you need that element of caution. What is going on further down?
I think we're gonna have a Red Bull civil war again.
Going on board with Tim Mats. To be fair, they are battling just outside the points position, so there might be potentially a point or two on offer come the end of a race. So this is quite an important battle for them here as well, and they just can't seem to be separated or out on the track.
I mean,
gotta say,
I think you're giving Mats the curse again, because look where he is right now compared to where he was last week.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I expected a little bit better from him. If I'm honest, I thought in qualifying he didn't really do a lap I thought he would, and now again in the race, him and his teammate are spending so much time fighting. I don't think they're really doing the best job for either of them, but they are closing in on friends, so I do wonder if it's almost worth here Matt's just taking a few laps out, because it does look like Konski is bringing them closer to Friends, who of course is currently in that last points position. And what I want to say as well quickly, we're on lap 17 of 27 here. I'm probably about to jinx it, so to whoever gets a penalty right now, I apologise, but we haven't got a penalty yet.
Yeah, it's well, Julian did have a penalty, but
yeah, even so, I mean, like, and this is one of those tracks where you can take liberties with the curbs as well, so, and we saw some invalidations in qualifying, so it's a little bit surprising, I have to say, that we haven't had a single corner-cutting penalty as yet. If that stays all the way to the end, then fair play to a lot of them on that one. Did I just see a spot of rain, or are my eyes going funny?
I think, better say the least, I think we both need to go back to Specsavers or Mission Express. I think, all I'm going to say is I think we both need, do you have glasses?
I do indeed. I'm just looking at Cambros though, because he's jammed in overtake mode. He's looking for a move on Free Gloves, but Free Gloves, to be fair to him, there he nearly got a run on Ryan as well. Ryan's still got so much ERS. Has he forgotten to use it?
I think Ryan might have not got them button maps, maybe, I don't know. But no, I think we both need to get our lenses checked in our glasses.
Absolutely. It's maybe a bit wishful thinking. I mean, a bit of late rain in the race, it definitely wouldn't be a bad thing from our point of view to see them start to struggle away. But Ryan, I have to say, is coming under more threat once again.
Yeah, rain is a northern thing that northerners see. Something not unnormal.
it's the sort of default weather, if you like. Free Gloves, I'm sure, just ran a bit wide there, and he did, which is why he's under so much pressure from the Cambros, but Cambros is nearly out of ERS and therefore can't use it to make a move into turns 1 and 2 of the opening chicane, so the Cambros looking threatening behind Free Gloves, but you cannot feel he almost needs to save a bit of ERS here.
Certainly. ERS is something that needs to be saved compared to Ryan. Oh, Ryan, man. Do you know how to use the overtake button? That's my question.
Oh, I'm sure Free Gloves again made a poor exit there onto this straight. I think he's lucky in the fact of who's got behind him, but he's also got to be wary because Super Guy and L is right there as well, and we've already seen that he is more than prepared to take a few risks to gain positions, so the last thing he wants to do is give Super Guy and L a sniff of maybe getting up behind Ryan, but he's got more ERS available than the Cambros, so he sense an opportunity here could be presenting itself soon for him to try and grab 4th place. It's all super close. Here he goes. He's going up the inside. Oh, and there's contact between them. And they both go spinning off the track. They manage to just about hold it together. Brandon gets a position on them. Oh, and Carnbros rejoins the track and hits TV Sen. And thankfully, TV Sen gets away with it. TV Sen tried to take the move now of Carnbros. I think Carnbros maybe letting him through there. Not too sure. Herald trying to take advantage now as well with the inside line for the last corner. They're going to continue to go side by side, and I've got to say it's you know, you talk about sometimes about, you know, I'm not saying for a second like who caused the incidents, but it's fair to say nearly a lot, the common theme in a lot of the contacts we're seeing today is that Super Guy and L tends to be a driver involved in it.
Yep, and I'm generally going to say this now, that Super Guy and L needs to chill out. He needs to stop thinking that the race is going to be over at the end of the next corner. Of course, you've got 7 laps left, mate. Pace yourself. All you're going to do as well is wear them hards out more.
And I hope he likes the back of the Renault, because he keeps wanting to have a look at it. And if he's going for a move again, the 3rd time he'll have passed Brandon. Brandon will just be thinking at this point, right, can you stay ahead this time? Because I'm sick of you overtaking me. But Super Guy L gets the move done into 4th. But the key thing now is because of that contact between him and the Carnbros, that's allowed Ryan and Free Gloves to break away from them. So Super Guy L needs to get back in that DRS range and quickly, because without the DRS, he's going to struggle to get right to the back of him again.
Certainly. Harold is right in the back of Tyson. I'm trying to find. It's the only action we're mainly getting right now is Super Guy and L basically hitting somebody.
Well, we have got a change for the final point, because Konski has overtaken Prenz and is up into 10th place, and Max will be hoping he can follow his teammate through on that one, because Prenz is another driver who doesn't seem to be enjoying those hard tyres all too much. I don't know if he's got any damage or anything, but his pace on the hard tyres has been lacking a bit.
Am I seeing something again, or am I seeing things, or is it raining?
Okay, I didn't see it that time, which probably means it is.
No, I don't know whether it is raining or not, or it's just me seeing things again.
All races, it's been looking like it's about to do it, and then it just doesn't. It's
yeah, I see like the odd leaf come out of the trees, and I just think it's rain.
It's such unusual weather conditions we've got here, and Game Freaker just does a fastest lap. Of course, he's pitted for medium tyres, so that's what he's going for. Not where the Alfa Romeo team would want to be right now, in 14th and 15th places, so not too ideal for them.
Ryan's actually used overtake mode.
I tell you what, he's used it at a time where he might lose the place to Free Gloves, who in the end just can't quite find the inside. I thought for a very split second he was about to make that move there, but he's remaining patient. But he probably knows, he probably sees Super Guy now behind him and thinks, I kind of need to get past Ryan sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and maybe like get away and pull up to Cam.
Yeah, Cam's still with that 3-second lead. I can't imagine Cam's pushing at this stage of the race. I think he's, ever since they've got onto the hard tyres, he's looked like the most comfortable on them. Ryan somehow is still in second, despite the fact it seems like he's had a car right up behind him for the past 15 laps.
It generally has, actually, if you think about it. 14 laps, got that car stuck behind him, he just can't get him out of his mirrors. I mean, my biggest problem with this game is that, well, with the 2020 cars, is that the wing mirrors are so wide out on them, is that I don't think any drivers do actually use cockpit cam anymore, because it's not really that good. But for me, who does like using cockpit cam for fun, it's rubbish because you can't see in your mirrors.
No, absolutely not. And it's something you'd really want to be able to do. You wouldn't want to do a race where you can't see like what's in your mirrors. And I've got to say, it must be a lack of pace for riding hard tyres, because I've got to be honest, Super Guy and L and the others behind have caught up pretty quickly, I've got to be honest. So you can't help feeling Free Gloves for me is the exact opposite of Super Guy and L, but it's like you were saying, Super Guy L maybe needs to tone it down a bit. You could almost argue Free Gloves needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Because right now, he sensed that he could get second place, but he's maybe just not willing to go for that little bit of a risk that it'll take to get past Ryan.
Certainly, I think, yeah, like you say, Three Gloves is definitely the grown-up driver here, to say the least. Taking it nice and chilled and, like, not going to go for anything too aggressive. We've got Super Guy now, who's literally, oh yeah, I see a corner there, brake later than everybody else, and then it doesn't end up working.
I mean, looking at it, it's worth noting for Free Gloves actually that he's actually he's on a good amount of points in the championship right now, but I think he's made a small error there, and that's going to leave him so vulnerable to Super Guy and L. And I mean, he's going to make a move surely. He's firmly in overtake. He senses the opportunities there on Free Gloves. I think he's going to go down the inside here for sure. Into turn 8, can he make it stick? Free Gloves gives him the room. Super Guy now leaves a car's width for Free Gloves, but they're going to continue to go side by side. But it looks like Super Guy now's got a better straight line speed out the exit. Maybe deploys.
But he's using up his ERS.
Yeah, making sure he gets a move stick, and and here we go now. This is what we're talking about earlier. We've got Super Guy and L first in the championship, Ryan third in the championship. Second place isn't here tonight, so this effectively is a battle between the two guys furthest up in the championship. And I don't know, this is one of those championship defining moments potentially here, because I can't imagine Super Guy and L's just going to sit behind Ryan for the next 5 laps and accept third.
Oh no, he really is. He's going to send it at any moment, but the only thing that's going to harm Super Guy and L is that Ryan's got 95% ERS.
And that's the thing, like you'd think for Ryan to have kept all these cars behind him for so long, he'll have drained his battery. The fact that he's done it without really touching his battery is quite astonishing, really.
Yeah. You've seen him Cam, he's very low, more or less.
Which is surprising, really, because you'd think with the sort of free air he's got, he could afford to save some. But, I mean, it's too late now for a safety car, so he's really pretty well set now, as long as he doesn't make a silly mistake. I mean, so for now, and look at that once again. We've got second down to 9th. Look how close it is. It literally is just a DRS train from second down to 9th. And I wonder at this stage.
Then 10th down to 13. Sorry, 14.
And is this just part of the race, I wonder, where we... Oh, and the Calm Bros has got a penalty. So somebody has picked up a penalty, and that's going to cost him dear. But I was about to say, is this the time of the race where Herald, on those pressure hard tyres, is going to start to make a charge? And he does around the outside into turn 10. He moves past TB set up to 6th. And I don't know, in these latter stages, Herald could be the guy to watch out for, because his hard tyres will feel better than everyone around him.
Certainly, he's definitely going to have a much better pace advantage over the other drivers. So I think it's about time that he's now putting it to use, and he is putting it to use very well. Oh, braking quite late, almost going into the back of Brandon even. That's certainly interesting. But look at this now, the pace advantage Herald has. It's Brandon using overtake, same with Herald now backing off of it. Brandon's, as in my opinion, Brandon, I wouldn't defend it. I would let him go.
And you can't imagine. Oh, and Pinson. So Pinson and Carnbros are battling for 8th, but that's actually a legitimate battle because they've both got a penalty each. But Pinson is past him, so Carnbros drops to 9th. Could have been so much better for Carnbros. That collision with Super Guy and L is undoubtedly going to cost him any real chance of major points here. But yeah, I mean, and the good news as well for Herald is after he gets past Brandon, is Free Gloves, and of course their teammates, and we know how sensible Free Gloves is. I don't think he'll consider fighting that all too much.
Certainly. Just coming in here now, look at them, so close. It's just a little pack. A little pack tightly bunched together, trying to keep warm. But Ryan is catching Cam. Cam's dropping off quite a bit.
Just about to say, what on earth's happened to Cam? He's lost well over a second in the last lap. So has he made a mistake somewhere? But either way, Ryan's really bit into Cam's lead here, and well, you'd be shocked from here if Cam really did throw this away, but he's got to be careful. He can't afford another mistake like the one I'm guessing that he's had.
So he must, like I say, I think he must have had a problem, but although Ryan is now catching Cam, I think Cam's hit the peak of the tyres and he's now gone off the cliff.
Could very well be, and he's got to be careful then. So Cam is starting to lose time here, and is this race for the lead? We were sort of talking about the battle for second. We sort of wrote off anyone challenging Cam, but were we calling that too early? Because you can see now it's getting to the stage where Ryan is very nearly in DRS range, and he is starting to go through his ERS a little bit more as well, and Cam won't have much to defend with in comparison.
That is Matt's round.
Matt's round, and
10-second time penalty.
And Game Freak has retired from the race as well. Mats has got a 10-second penalty. It won't make too much of a difference because he's running essentially what he's last on the road now anyway. But it's not the end to the race. And, you know, talking about being a Civil War at Red Bull and a chance for Mats to establish himself as the number one driver at Red Bull, then Konski is definitely got the upper hand now. I don't even want to know what Mats is.
I'm watching him being a bit intrigued.
He puzzles me a lot.
I'm just like, why does he keep driving off track unnecessarily?
I think that's
he's driving off track again.
I think that's just a sign of a driver that's kind of a bit angry that they've basically not going to get anything out of this race, and was probably wishing that I'm not commentating again for the next 4 rounds, because at this point I'm clearly cursing him. But I tell you what, we've got a battle for the lead here on the final lap. What has happened to Cam? Is Cam about to throw away what looks like a dead certain win here?
I think he is. It's getting closer between the two.
So here we go then. Cam with Ryan behind him. Cam's pace has just dropped off massively. This is incredible to see, and you can see Ryan's going to have such a good opportunity here to take the win from Cam right at the death, and this looks so unlikely. You can look how much ERS Ryan has actually gone through now. Cam goes defensive. There's nothing he can do. He's going to lose the race lead on the final lap of the race. And Ryan, out of nowhere, he probably can't believe it. He spent all race long defending, and now he's in the lead of the race. Cam will try and fight back. Has he got anything left to give? It doesn't look like he has. And Ryan leads this race, and I've got to be honest, I don't know how Cam has lost this from his position.
He must be really off the cliff on them tyres, because Ryan taking that back step has worked because he's protected the tyres, and maybe Cam has pushed too much at the end here.
Is Cam going to lose a position to his teammate on the last corner? Is he going to offer that position away? Doesn't look like he is. So Ryan comes around the final corner. He's going to win here in France, and I didn't think I'd be saying that across the line. Who's going to get second? It's going to be Cam, who just gets second ahead of his teammate. It was a photo finish.
Cam, Super Guy now actually braked before the line.
Wow, that's astonishing. Super Guy L giving up essentially what would have been second place. Cam finishes second, but it should have been better. It really should have. That's the second race in a row where Cam...
Cam's tyre actually popped on the line.
Oh, wow. So I wonder if that was a bit of sportsmanship between the two Ferraris, and Super Guy L not wanting to take second place in that manner. But either way, it backs up what you said. His tyres were just simply off the cliff, and Ryan's just commented in the chat, tyre management at its finest.
I'll say Ryan's tyre management was absolutely magnificent.
And the crazy thing is, he held off cars behind him without ever really using that much ERS. That was what was so impressive. So he did a super job there, and ultimately it's earned him the win. Cam takes second, Super Guy now obviously not wanting to take that off Cam in the end. Free Gloves in fourth, Herald in fifth. That was a good drive from him as well. Good points for Williams. Brandon sixth, TB Sen in seventh, Pinson eighth, for Carnbros in ninth, and Konski with his first point in 10th. You then got Prenz, Powdy, Ugi Azim, Mats, who I think will want to forget about that race, Game Freaker. They're both classified, but they did DNF. And then you've also got Julian and Jonis, who also retired from the race. But I have to say, what a dramatic end that was.
It was.
Cam looked for all the way. You can... I mean, I've got to be honest now, if ever Cam's leading a race again, I'm almost not going to consider it done until he goes across the line on the final lap, because it's 2 races in a row he arguably should have 2 wins from, and he's only got a third and a second, which doesn't sound that bad on the face of it, but it really should be a lot more for him.
Certainly, but like you say, it's been a great race, and at the end I was also sat on watching Matt, and I was just like, you good, bro? You good? He just kept driving off track, and then back on, then off track, and back. I was just sat there like, what?
Utterly bizarre. That's Matt's for you. In terms of who I would say would be driver of the day, I can't give it to anyone but Ryan, to be honest. I think it seemed like a lot of drivers around him weren't thinking about the long game, and he definitely was. He tyre managed absolutely perfectly, and he got a reward at the end of it. So for me, I can't say anyone other than Ryan for driver of the day.
I'd probably say 3 gloves for the strategy.
Yeah, 3 gloves is a good shout as well. Of course, he did that undercut, which worked really well. I think if obviously I'd still give it to Ryan for me, but I think both Williams as a 3 gloves and Herald did really good jobs in 4th and 5th, and fair play to all of them really. And Ryan takes the win when it looked for all the world like it was going to be Cam. That will close things up in the championship as well, heading to next week when we're racing at Canada. And yeah, I mean, at the moment it has to be said. You got something for me?
Yes, I can understand why Max was all over the place now.
Go on.
His wheel broke.
Oh.
Typical Fanatec. That's all I'm going to say.
You're continuing to pull in those sponsorship deals. But yeah, I mean, you got to say it's really unfortunate for Max, and probably maybe cost him a chance of maybe sneaking into the points at the end there. But yeah, the championship's closing up between the top 3, Super Guy and El Foca and Ryan. It's shaping up to be a great battle between those 3, and we head to Canada next week, which should be a lot of fun indeed. Be sure to tune in to PSGL YouTube tomorrow. We've got all the top 7 PS tiers in action. If you want to watch Bryn drive, you can do so. It'll be in F5.
Don't watch me drive. Cheers.
And if instead you want to listen to my voice again, I'll be on comms in F3 with Felix tomorrow. So yeah, that's it from myself and Bryn, and we will catch you next week for Canada round 7. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.